What's going on, guys? I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. If you're a returning subscriber, as always, guys, welcome back, and I do appreciate the support. Guys, I'm going to talk a little bit about a catastrophe that's happening down here in parts of Texas, namely the Hill Country, and it's about flash flooding that happened, and it's all over the news. They saying now the death toll rose to 32 due to Texas floods. And it says 24 girls are missing from a camp. And they're saying 32 people have died and 14 of them are children. Now, they don't know if the people that are missing have expired, but it's just one big mess. And it was an unexpected, flash flood from rain that is just sitting in this particular area and just pouring down. I do a lot of videos on crime and stuff like this, but I mean, to be honest, stuff like this needs to be talked about too. I just wanted to say my prayers and condolences go out to the families of people that are missing and people that have lost somebody due to this catastrophe. Take a look at this. This is what they're talking about so far, man. The devastation, this is real. You never know when death is coming. So, I mean, just cherish every day, man. Take a look, man. God rest these people's soul.
This morning, many people still missing, and officials confirmed 25 deaths after those devastating floods throughout the Texas Hill Country on the 4th of July.
And you can take a look at the video behind us. The amount of devastation caused by that heavy rainfall that fell along the Texas Hill Country and along the Guadalupe River, washing away homes near Kerrville, Ingram, Hunt, and other nearby areas. Over 200 people, many of them children, Sarah, have been rescued, a lot of those people by helicopter.
Yeah, when we were out there yesterday, they couldn't put their boats in. The first responders had to do all these rescues via aircraft. And here's a look at some of the drone video that our photojournalist Robert Samaran and I got out there yesterday. This is at the Guadalupe River off of Loop 534 near Bandera Highway. We saw several cars in the water. Those huge trees just completely toppled over, and we even saw a home that was swept away into the water. I mean, it was just a slat of concrete that was left. And we continue our live coverage as we have several teams out there this morning, talking to the people as people are picking up the pieces. And
as the sun kind of rises on this Saturday morning, we're able to see a little bit more of the devastation and the aftermath, especially along Highway 39. Right. That was that one stretch where we had several campgrounds and obviously a lot of reports of high water rescues, things of that nature, and unfortunately some people that are still unaccounted for.
We want to get right to Sarah Spivey, who's keeping us updated. Sarah, what does the Hill Country look like today?
Well, the reason why we can see some of the damage, a lot of the damage now, is because the Guadalupe River is starting to be below flood stage. And so the waters are receding along the Guadalupe River from Kerrville to Comfort all the way out to Spring Branch. We've actually just seen the waters of the Guadalupe rise at Spring Branch and Crest. They are now starting to recede. So that is some good news as the Guadalupe River flows into Canyon Lake here. The lake will be able to take on all of that water because the lake is only 46% full. So it is going to be able to take on that water. You can see right now, though, that we are still dealing with some rain. It's just light rain in San Antonio, just light rain across the Hill Country. We've got some heavier downpours happening from Seguin out toward Luling, down toward Lavernia and out near Gonzales. But the main area of flooding overnight has been up nearer to the Austin metro area. We're talking about Burnett, Marble Falls, all the way up toward Lampasas there. Think about Lake Buchanan, think about the Colorado River through Marble Falls out toward Lake Travis. These areas have seen 10 plus inches of rain, so they have been dealing with some devastating flooding. Needless to say, this big low pressure system that has caused the devastating flooding across south central Texas is still overhead, and it's not really budging anywhere. You can see that low right here. Over the last 24 hours, it has just parked itself across central Texas. And so because that low is not moving, we still have the potential for flooding today. We have a flood watch in effect until 7 p.m. for all of the counties you see here in green, including San Antonio area up toward the Hill Country, Fredericksburg, Kerrville, Bernie, San Marcos, Austin, Seguin, Floresville, Pleasanton, Gonzales, and Hondo, all under this flood watch, because we are watching for the potential for flooding. Until 7 p.m., additional flooding is going to be possible today. If you get some heavy rain, areas of 1 to 3 inches of rain are likely, but we could see pockets of more than 6 inches of rain on an already saturated ground. That's exactly what happened up near the Marble Falls Burnett area earlier this morning. So we are going to continue to keep you posted. As for our weekend forecast, know that today in San Antonio, afternoon heavy rain is possible, and then tomorrow slightly less coverage with a few spotty storms. But still, we are going to be on alert all weekend long for the potential for flooding. If there's any good news, it's that the Guadalupe River, for most of the river stretch from Kerrville all the way out into Kendall County, is now no longer in flood stage.
Well, the press conference in Kerrville, Texas, just wrapping, where the governor there and Secretary Noem also spoke. 32 people are now confirmed dead, 18 adults and 14 children. Crews committing to bringing every victim home. News Nation's Xavier Walton is live on the ground in Hunt, Texas. This is about 20 minutes northwest of Kerrville with the very latest on the ground. Xavier.
Hey, Kelly. So to give everyone an idea of where we are, Camp Mystic, if you go about, 5 miles that away down the Guadalupe River, then you get to Camp Mystic. Secretary Noem said she's going to be coming out here later, so she will likely come this way and get down to the camp. We drove down there, and let me just tell you, I know we've been showing all the videos and you've seen all the water. The water has since been gone, but you can still see the devastation that's left over. And we're going to point you up here this way, and you can kind of still see some of the power lines, obviously, that are downed. But when you look to the top of the trees, and just use your imagination here, going back towards the camp along the Guadalupe River, that's how high the water was. When you're talking about 30-plus feet of water, that's how high it was. Just a bit ago, they actually did this when we were here. Take a look at that sign. This community completely decimated here in Hunt. It says right there, Hunt Strong. It used to say the Hunt store, obviously, and you could see what is left of it. Since we've been here, people have been coming and picking up the pieces. You can hear chainsaws everywhere. And as we're just going to keep going into 360 and you go this way, Daniel, people everywhere you look, and we're going to go gingerly because the signal, it is, the connectivity isn't great out here. But everywhere you look, there's a bit of devastation. A lot of these people, you know what? You've heard this all day long. They weren't ready for this. They didn't expect this. They were getting ready to celebrate, the 4th of July. And then hearing that press conference, a lot of these people in this community knew folks, at that camp. So when you hear that to them, this is just absolutely devastating. You see cars just completely toppled and tossed around. That's the one thing, too. Everywhere you look, there seems to be some piece of, building that may have been destroyed. Cleanup is obviously just underway. You're looking here at what used to be a gas pump. They're going to try and replace the power here eventually. But Kelly, it is a long way out. Obviously, the switch over from to a recovery effort is now underway.
Well, it's absolutely devastating. So many with no warning. Xavier Walton, thank you for that live look on the ground.